You're tuned into SEC Sunday Night, part of the Chief Sports Network.
With the lights, it's Tuesday night. Welcome into SEC Sunday Night Live on the Chief Sports Network right here on a Tuesday. Is it Tuesday? I forget what day it is. Regardless, it's not Sunday, but we're here and we're excited to bring you all of the energy, all of the midweek excitement, all of the right after Christmas, right before New Year's. Everybody is pent up in their houses or on vacations and traveling, and we are brought to you by Hewitt Damaduros Law. And just like the three of us have built a family in this show, and here at Chief Sports Net, we believe in supporting our family. Hewitt Damaduros will treat you like family as well. And if you need something, whether it is a personal injury or an insurance claim, a dog bite, whatever the case may be, we are here to turn our hats backwards and get to work. HDLawSC.com, Hewitt Damaduros Law, proudly presenting SEC Sunday Night, and this week presenting it on a Tuesday because we have college football playoff, boys. It is round 2. But first of all, I hope everybody had a Merry Christmas. Looking forward to a Happy New Year. Happy holidays to you, boys. Happy holidays to everybody out there who is watching us here on the Chief Sports Network. Thanks for being here. What's going on to YouTube buffoons? How have the holidays been treating you?
Who's got it better than us, buddy? Look at this. Michigan Wolverines, Kyle Whittingham approved tumbler from my nephew who is a freshman at Michigan. So good.
Oh, don't you worry. We're getting to that.
Tumbler. I got a blank tumbler that was a gift it was in the closet when I came to my wife's uncle's house.
Is that technically a gift if it's blank?
Details, Gregory. Details.
All right. Fair enough.
You know, Gregory is a very underrated nickname. It's one of my favorites, but we don't get to use it enough. So I appreciate you, Casey, for bringing up Gregory. Do I need to turn this around so I'll actually stick out because it looks like I don't even have on a hat. The night sky at Sanford Stadium is eating the top of my hat.
Are you a Dogs fan now?
No, it's just as we look into the second round, I have to tip my cap to somebody. And I've already done that with the Aggies, and they were out. And so I'm going to see if I can
go LSU not to upset Joy.
I'm going to see if I can't turn my luck. Apparently, according to X, Joy is also a Dogs fan. If you missed that thread, it is there and available for you. Okay.
She needs to figure out who she wants to cheer for. She just can't cheer for everybody in the conference.
I know.
Just pick a team, Joy. It'll be okay.
I know. We should let her know that. I'll be sure to send her a message that you, of all people, want her to pick a team. You, the team shifter himself. Okay.
Well, her company is SEC pretty. It's not Georgia pretty. It's not LSU pretty. It's SEC pretty. So she's Rob Lowe, and she has the NFL.
Yep, this is true. This is true. She does have that luxury.
Rob Lowe reference. I was like, what is he talking about? I like that.
I like this hat backwards thing.
Can we talk drinks for just a moment before we get going? Because I have two. I have the zero sugar purple Gatorade, and like you gentlemen, I have a J&J Rail Service, not sponsored. Sorry, we're not picking that up with the virtual background for my New England coffee, which is a cinnamon hazelnut brew tonight.
Pinky's up for the cinnamon hazelnut.
Yep.
I have ice cold water.
Lame.
That's not
what you're actually drinking.
Arnold Palmer iced tea by Arizona, also not a sponsor, and Wild Cherry Cola. I'm not, but also not a sponsor.
Not a sponsor.
Wild cherry Pepsi is the greatest. Anyway, okay, let's get into it.
Hang on. So if you're at Taco Bell, because we're going off the rails, because that's what we're doing, because it was a Tuesday night. Are we going wild cherry Pepsi,
Yes.
root beer, or Dr. Pepper?
No, the G2 gets me at Taco Bell for some reason, and I don't like G2, but G2 out of the thing,
Out of the
delicious.
fountain?
Most people say Baja Blast at Taco Bell, though, right? Isn't that supposed to be
Yeah.
the move? Isn't that
Yeah, I've
supposed to be
never
the
had
thing?
it.
Listen,
I've
I
had
am over
it. I've had
40.
it, but
I
it
am
does not
Baja-
captivate me.
I'm not Baja blasting. I'm over 40.
Yeah, let's stick with water.
I'm
Miss-
Baja blasting, but it's not the drink.
It's your post bean burrito soft taco meal.
Okay, let's
Sorry.
let's dive into some boards. That was a beautiful way to start. Okay, we have 4. Craig, you mentioned Michigan. This is out of our purview because we're not in the SEC with this. By the way, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to Craig Godwin as well over there in the chat box. We love Craig.
Great first name.
One of the
We
top
appreciate it.
one of the number 1 fans on the Chief Sports Network. But let's start because MBG had a meltdown from Utah, and I originally screenshotted the entirety of the tweet with the 4, but then I did them individually for you, Casey. So these are not in order. So we'll just go.
So from the Utah Ute Zone, Ute Boy said, "This is like watching your dad divorce your mom after 30 years and start dating a younger woman. Like, good for you, Dad, but also WTF, man." That was one of my favorites that MBG tweeted out from the
It
Ute.
was very funny.
Yeah,
I mean, it's perfect. Is it not perfect?
it's honestly it's very, very perfect.
It's
And
honestly, yeah, like if you're looking at it, like Whittingham, like why is Utah regretting their decision at this point now that Michigan has them?
Did he make the decision though, didn't he? Or is there talk that he was forced out?
I feel like he was like, so from what I've read, because I've read a bunch on this.
I've read nothing, so we're
good.
even.
So there you go. There was talk that 2023 he was like, okay, I'm going to be ready to be done. 2024 they are sub 500, and he's like, no, not going out like this. I want one more year. And they go 10-2 this year. And the AD's like, oh, well, you said you were done, so maybe move on. And Whittingham, I think, probably has whatever that F word is in the WTF, probably has that feeling for him because he goes, okay, cool, I'll be done, but I'm hitting the transfer portal. And
yeah, he did say he wasn't done coaching, right?
He did say that. So it's going to be interesting because I feel like this is a Brian Kelly, not to bring up LSU again, but this is like a Brian Kelly LSU Notre Dame sort of deal.
And I'm not rushing you, Craig. Continue. This one was just.
I feel very rushed now.
This one was appropriate, so I'm putting it in the background.
You know, why don't you read and I will continue?
No. Seriously, continue. Just as you're talking, this fits. Yeah. So very Brian Kelly, Notre Dame. Go ahead.
Yeah. So just like they were comparing, and we saw Notre Dame ascend to the national championship last year, we're going to look and see, well, what does Utah and Michigan do? Utah has not won a Big 12 championship. Michigan is coming off of a Big 10 championship, coming off a national championship. And they're going to expect Kirk Signetti 2.0. So I think this is what is going to be interesting to start to see the compare and contrast. And it's going to put the new Utah coach, I cannot remember his name. I did not cover the Big 12. That's Andrew McCleary's job. But it's going to put him, I think, under a lot of pressure to basically, jump in and have, at least 10 or 11 wins next year.
Yep.
It's a good shout out to Andrew. Appreciate it.
And let me take a moment here as well for our friend Ryan, who just joined the channel. First of all, welcome, Ryan. We would like to say thanks for coming in. Second of all, at this point in the year, we're talking about the entirety of the nation, and you'll see here we have this Utah board up on the screen. We're going to talk about some non-SEC playoff games here coming up because it's college football playoff time. And also, Casey is with us every week because we have an amazing friendship and partnership with the Message Board Genius podcast. So that would be why our good friend is here. As you can see, the MBG Pod shirt there that he is wearing. He is the esteemed producer of said show. And so he's here with us every week to read the boards. Casey, go ahead and No, I didn't think you were hating, Ryan. Don't worry about it. I was just clarifying because a lot of
Casey
people
thought you were hating.
have that
Casey
question.
thought you were hating. He gets very
A
sensitive.
lot of people have that question when they see the orange. I'm not always a fan of it either.
I try
But
not to wear it on this show, but tonight I could not find my other hat, and I did
don't
bring
worry.
two.
What
So
is
I
Don't
your
worry,
other hat?
Ryan.
Is it your South Carolina hat or your Yankee hat?
All
My
right,
Tampa
go.
Bay, Tampa Bay.
All right, here we
Anyway,
go. Here we go.
Homed says it's crazy that it takes you 20 plus years to build all of this, and you're willing to burn it all for a short stint at Michigan.
What are you
Yeah, and
talking about, bro?
I think you just highlighted this though, Craig, right? Like,
Brian Kelly.
yeah, and I think that there's something to be said for a 20-year tenure and building something that's worth remembering. But as much as a dumpster fire as it is, I think Kyle Whittingham has kind of made his mark on college football, and he's made his mark at Utah, and so we still can't undervalue what's going on with Michigan.
Well,
Historically, you know what I mean? Like, it's a dumpster fire now, but it's still Michigan. You know what I mean?
It's still Michigan. You've got the Oracle guy with all his money. And I think this is going to be the interesting part for me is Whittingham has, I think his biggest skill and his biggest asset is his ability to basically adapt and evolve. I mean, Utah went from the Mountain West to the American Conference, back to the Mountain West, to the Pac-12, and has shown an ability to win. I think he's only I remember doing an article when I was ranking the coaches a few years ago. He's only had 3 losing seasons. So he's shown that ability to adapt and evolve. I think my biggest question for him, how does he use the portal and how can he leverage NIL? Because you're going against Oregon now, you're going against Ohio State. I'm not going to throw Penn State in there yet. I know you're the Penn State insider when you were on with Emily Taylor for her wonderful podcast. But you're going to be expected to compete for that Big Ten championship. You're going to be expected to,
Beat
leverage the portal. Yeah, beat Ohio State. And I think that's my biggest question. I've said probably too much about Whittingham. What are your thoughts, as far as where he's at and what's going on?
I love it, but I was surprised. I had to go back and actually read. I know I joked to say I didn't read anything, but I was surprised that he wasn't done when he stepped down. And when I went back and read his comments, his thanks to Utah about how he wasn't done, then it all made sense. Not how he went out, because I really didn't spend a lot of time with thinking like he was forced out. I thought maybe he went out on his own volition. And
Yeah.
he's what, 62, 63, 64 years
66
old?
66.
66. So at 5 years, 71, that's about the Saban time that Saban went out. So I think that 5 year deal is perfect. And I honestly think he is the right guy for Michigan to kind of get him back to level. It's kind of like that hangover on New Year's Day that you have, and you just need something to just get you back to level. And I think that's what it feels like to me. It feels like Michigan's got this raging hangover, and Whittingham is that special sauce. It's that 3-bean burritos and a Baja Blast from Taco Bell that kind of just brings you back to normal.
What a callback. What an incredible callback. All right, we've done a lot of this.
Yeah.
One more thing. Sorry. One more thing.
Just as we have one more board about Utah and Kyle Whittingham, one more thing from Craig.
Rip apart all statue plans. This dude is a clown. Well, this could be actually on the MGO Blue page, because do you know who Kyle Whittingham's best friend is? Urban Meyer. So what I really love about the hire, and I don't know if it's Ward Manuel, I think his days are numbered in Ann Arbor. I think there's going to be a totally new administration. Kyle Whittingham represents a departure from the Michigan man and Bo Schembechler and all of the past. And the fact that he has a friendship with Urban Meyer is a lot of things, but he's a hell of a football coach. But Whittingham was the guy who took over for Urban when he left Utah. I think is one of the most interesting parts. You see it already. He's bringing in at least 8 or 9 staff members. He's only going to keep about 2 or 3 guys from the current staff. Kyle Whittingham is the breath of fresh air. Does it work? I don't know. but it is a necessary step that Michigan needs to take. They had success. They won a Big Ten championship. They won a national championship, but it was always constantly clouded with an asterisk. So, like, to me, this is the right move, even if we don't necessarily see the wins or the championships following through.
Okay. Massive news in college football this week, in case you missed it. Michigan is hiring Kyle Whittingham, former coach at Utah, but that's enough time spent outside of the league.
I agree.
Let's get wild here in the SEC.
All right, MBG says Auburn should have just kept Hugh Freeze. They were so close. War damn Eagle. So our guy from Auburn undercover, Bodegetta, 1995 says should have kept Freeze. Believe it or not, I think we actually were close. What do you think, boys? Were they close with
Finally, somebody who agrees with me that we need to give coaches more time to develop programs. However,
somebody who gets it, right, Rob?
He gets it.
However, I think I'm out on this one, guys. Like, yeah, as much as I advocate for keeping coaches, this is probably a time when it was. I hate the quick triggers at Auburn and Florida over the past decade. To be honest, like they've kind of pulled it a little quick a couple times, and I think every time that you do that, it does set you back further in the hole. If you've been here with us or you've been on our former show, it just means more football and coffee. You've heard this rant from me before. But things were kind of a little touch and go on the Plains. And so I think it was time. However, the fact that the entirety of the roster is in the transfer portal is probably the reason for this.
But again, I'm going to use the Whittingham example here. And why don't you read this one, Casey, and I will give my Whittingham example.
All right. Attention, Auburn fans, MBG says. Join us at Toomer's Corner tonight at 7 to honor Cam Coleman. Tomorrow night, 7 p.m. at Toomer's Corner, a vigil in honor of Cam. Hopefully enough of us show up and show him how much he really means to us. We're fighting for you, Cam. Don't leave us, sweet prince. That's from our friend Corey 4AU with a nice Bob Ross profile picture.
Nice little Waffle House here in the background for Bob Ross.
Happy trees.
That's 7 Central, by the way, for you scoring at home. It's not, Auburn is in the Central.
I showed up at 8. That was my problem.
That was your problem. Cam Coleman's in the portal. Singletary's in the portal. About 23 guys.
Everybody's in the portal, my friend.
Everybody's in the portal. But I think this is another Whittingham situation. Hugh Freeze, from what we've read, created a toxic situation. That's a very hard word to say. And there was no accountability. These guys could kind of come and go or do whatever they wanted. So to me, if Golsh is going to be successful, let them go, figure out who he wants to bring them back in. Because here's what Golsh was promised. He was promised $25 million in NIL spending. So yes, the sky is falling, Chicken Little. Cam Coleman is in the portal. But with that $25 million, he is going to be able to bring in a quarterback that he wants. Deuce Knight is in the portal. Deuce Knight looks like he is going to Ole Miss. He was their 5-star this year. He did a couple of things. This is coaching changes in 2025, 2026. Everybody's going to hit the portal. Michigan is going to probably see an influx of kids hit the portal. I wouldn't be surprised to see Bryce Underwood hit the portal, maybe to stay, but it's just part of what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And to see Auburn and AU.com or whatever the AL.com, whatever the site was saying, like, Golsh has lost this team, calm down. It's going to be okay. Give him a second to rebuild this. He'll tell us within a year or two whether or not we're on the right track or not.
Speaking of Ole Miss and Deuce Knight.
MBG says blessed. Our friend Soil Rev 97 says it is so nice to not have to put up with the BS. I am sick of opening social media the last few days to see the narcissistic ho desperately seeking attention with his grocery store kilt. Oh my God. I'm not even drinking tonight. Desperately seeking attention with his grocery store skit like he is auditioning for the Kardashians. But it is such a good feeling to know Pete is in the Manning Center, pencil in hand, dip in, Folgers Coffee in the other hand, focused on Georgia. So what say you, boys? Is Lane just kind of
First of all, what an image. Pete Golding, pencil in hand, lip packed to the fullest. Folgers Coffee.
No pouch there. There's no pouch there, is there?
He's probably
No
spitting. He's spitting it across the room. He doesn't even have a spit bottle in hand. He's hitting a spittoon across the room because that's how manly he is. We're just throwing it back. What an image of the grinder that Pete Golding has become against the other image of this Lane Kiffin reality housewife. They've really spun it down there, boys. I'm just telling you, it has become quite the thing.
Did you see now Governor Landry and Kiffin now are talking about going to the Sugar Bowl on Thursday? And it's like, and
it really is like a reality show at this point. And you know what? Honestly, it's kind of entertaining.
It's not. It's boring. I'm sorry. It's not college football. And then all of the people who were like railing against Lane for leaving the Texas Bowl early when LSU played Houston. Shut up. Who cares? That's not this team. Most of those guys are going to be in the portal because he's kicking them out because he has $30 million in NIL. But, like, it's just the drama. And this is where, I'm sorry, Heidi Toddy Strohs. I love you. But, like, this is where I hope Georgia ends the Ole Miss narrative and the Ole Miss story.
We're going to get to that.
We will. But I think what it does is it takes some of the oxygen away from Lane Kiffin. Because how toxic of a situation is it going to be when you have 6 staff members who are at Ole Miss preparing for a semifinal game who are also in the transfer portal trying to poach half the roster? Please stop. So let's move on. Ole Miss, thank you for a wonderful story. We had a great time in Oxford. Good night.
Speaking of moving on, here's one that's really going to fire me up, and we'll cue this up, Casey, if you will. I'm going to give you one last board. I want you to end the discussion on this board by giving us a little tease, and we'll hit break number 1.
All right, from the SEC rant, MBG says the addition of the Texas schools was the beginning of the end for the SEC. Our friend Safety Blitz says, let's face it, the SEC sucks. We had our time. Now we are falling behind. Allowing in the Texas schools was the beginning of the end. So, boys, is the SEC cooked?
Yeah, that is the question. And we're going to get to it in just a moment after our first break. It is 9:23 p.m. Eastern time. And this is SEC Sunday Night on the Chief Sports Network. We'll be right back to answer the question, is the SEC cooked?
At TriFit Physical Therapy and Performance, we believe true health and peak performance start with personalized care. Whether you're an athlete recovering from injury or just chasing your next personal best, we're here to guide your journey. With expert coaching, hands-on therapy, and transparent cash-based pricing, you get the care you need without the insurance red tape. One client drove 100 miles just to see us and said it was worth every mile. Contact us at trifitperformance.com or 803-353-5619. TriFit Physical Therapy and Performance, where recovery meets results.
When playing sports, you want a coach that will fight for you. At Hewitt Diamaduros Law Firm, we've got your back. Whether it's personal injury, insurance disputes, negligence, or wrongful death, our team delivers exceptional legal services that makes meaningful difference in the lives of the individuals and families we work for. Visit hdlawsc.com. hdlawsc.com. Hewitt Diamaduros, we're on your team.
This is SEC Sunday Night, part of the Chief Sports Network.
Welcome back to SEC Sunday Night Live on the Chief Sports Network. Coming right back in from break as Craig licks his lips after taking a sip of something that was definitely not ice cold water. And as we prepare to answer the question that Casey left us with, is the SEC cooked? I'm going to let one of you two fools take this first because I have a very poignant answer and I feel like it'll be different from what both of you have to say. So whoever would like to wax eloquently on that first, I think that would be our resident ACC guy over there that's not repping for the best league. The best league.
Let the ACC guy respond.
Well, I just want to say this question came from a tweet that I put out earlier in the week about how the SEC has been losing bowl games. And, of course, I was not attacked, but I was attacked because I want to be dramatic by an SEC fan saying that it happens all over the country. But I don't see it all over the country. I see it from SEC teams. I think they were the start of the narrative of when they lose games, they don't want to be there. But when they beat Florida State by 60 points, then it just serves them right. So I came up with the question of, the narrative is around national college football that the SEC is the biggest, the baddest, the best. And that might be so. But why is it? It just means more unless they lose bowl games when they have opt-outs. So that's where my question came from. I have no true opinion on it. I just like to rage bait at times.
Casey, I know you're not one to do like preseason polls and math and
I love
analytics
them.
and things.
Love them.
But let me do a little math problem for you. How many SEC teams made the college football playoff? 5.
35. Oh.
5. So what you're saying is we looked at it because I saw that tweet the other night and I'm like, Virginia, who was the ACC runner-up, had to play like the 12th place team, Missouri. How is that even fair? So sure, Missouri couldn't, complete a forward pass.
I see what you're doing.
But it's, we're trying to compare. It's like, oh, cool, your second place team beat our 12th place team. Great, let's have a celebration. And then tonight, Burt Bielema beats an SEC team for the second year in a row. Well, do you see what a problem Tennessee has? They had to fire the defensive coordinator. They couldn't stop the run. They let up 150 yards in the second half. So don't give me this, oh, it only matters if it doesn't. Listen, you are playing our bottom cellar dwelling team.
Right.
So let's just wait until New Year's Day when we go to Nolans and we have 2 SEC teams. Because guess what? The College Football Playoff Committee was so afraid of having too many SEC teams in the semifinals that they had to make sure that they were playing each other. So be thankful that Ole Miss and Georgia are playing against each other. And then we have to go out to Pasadena in California, where our beloved Alabama has to play the Cinderella boy that is Fernando Mendoza and Indiana. And they are a 6.5-point dog. Are you serious? So, Casey, go ahead and talk about your meaningless bowl games, your fodder, your background TV, because when we get back here on Sunday night, we will have Georgia and we will have Alabama in the semifinals, and I cannot wait for those 2 teams to meet each other in the national championship, and then just shut up all of these people who are talking about the SEC and their bad bowl record. Stop.
So that elicits the question, but you wax poetic there. I mean, quite honestly, I had the Battle Hymn of the Republic in my left ear while you were doing that. So if let's say hypothetically, because the SEC doesn't do hypotheticals. Let's say that is the case, because I actually am on record as saying that Georgia goes to the national championship game. I don't think it's Alabama on the other side, but I think they actually win it. But does that mean the entire conference is great because the top 2 teams?
Absolutely, it doesn't matter because in the words of one,
that's what I was hoping you would say.
If you're not first, you're last.
Okay.
Can
I excuse me, gentlemen? Can I chime in here? I think that we're asking the wrong question, and here's what I would say about bowl games. While I understand that we jest and that Casey is most definitely rage baiting when he asked this question, is the SEC cooked? I think the reality of it is that bowl games used to be a solid metric of the depth and the strength of your conference before Leonard Fournette and company started the landslide that is opt-outs. And
Leonard Fournette go to school?
Completely, yeah, LSU, and completely changed
Thanks, George.
McCaffrey started it, but yeah, go ahead.
completely changed the makeup of what bowl season looks like. Now, these games are not indications of who this team was in the middle of the season, and so it is not right for us to make those judgments about any team. Here's where bowl season matters, though, Craig, and I will refuse to call them meaningless bowl games.
I have a question when you're done.
That's fine. Bowl games are incredibly meaningful to the individual program and to the fan base that pulls for that program. However, the rest of the country has no business judging a team based on a result that comes about in a glorified scrimmage that is not comprised of the roster that participated in the most of the season. And in a lot of cases, to your point, Craig, made up of coaches who are coaching their last game, and it's already been publicly announced that they're going to move on to another school. They're split focus. You have coaches in the college football playoff who are participating at two different schools. So is it a developmental time for programs to develop younger guys for the next year? Programs who are maybe perpetually 8-4. We have some teams playing right now, and USC and TCU are kind of in that zone to develop some younger guys to try to take a step to get to double-digit wins or maybe challenge for the college football playoff in the following year. Absolutely, it's a developmental time. Is it an incredible team bonding experience where teams can travel together to do things that are enjoyable and fun and reward guys for having participated in the season? Yes, it is. Is it an opportunity for a fan base to go to a destination? In some cases, that destination is warm and sunny Florida. In some cases, it's Shreveport. You just don't know what you're going to get.
Detroit.
And that may or may not be a reward, but the point remains that there's an opportunity to spend time together as a fan base, as a team, and as a program, and so it matters to that program and that fan base. But outside of that, we have no business saying, "Oh, they suck. They lost their bowl game." They're playing with half the roster in a lot of cases, or maybe the other team is playing with half a roster. You don't know what is being comprised. You make a great point, though. That if we want to judge strengths of conferences, we need to look at the 12 that are in the college football playoff, because those are the ones who are still playing at full steam, and those are the ones who earned a shot at a national championship. And that's how we measure the depth of conferences. That is the new – yeah, thanks, Casey. That is the new way for us to do that, because these bowl games have shifted to a different purpose.
Notre Dame would like a word, Rob.
They can have one.
They can have one.
You can ask a question. I went over, and now we're off schedule, and we need to get to picking games.
No, we got to pick games.
Ask your dumb question.
Listen, why don't you tag the Pop-Tart Bowl in this question? Why the hell is your quarter zip $135? Now, granted, it is a nice quarter zip. You could wear that to the office. You could wear that to the golf course. But here's the thing, and I got dinged a little bit in my recap for the Missouri-Virginia game, for the bowl game down in Jacksonville, because I ripped on the Pop-Tart Bowl a little bit. Here's the thing. How much did the Pop-Tart Bowl pay the media to go just crazy over, oh my gosh, isn't the Pop-Tart Bowl so great? Stop. These bowl games are nothing more than providing TV windows for ESPN and ABC. That is all they are. And this is not me defending the SEC or saying anything else. They are background noise during the time between December 26th and December 30th, when we don't know what day it is. That's all they are. And here's the thing. Here's the dirty little secret. The 12-team playoff killed the bowl games. They absolutely killed them. They made them inconsequential. I did not think about Illinois playing Tennessee tonight because it wasn't on top of mind. It was not top of mind. And yes, listen, I love college football. I used to love the bowl season. But as we expanded from the BCS to a 14 playoff, now to a 12-team playoff, maybe to a 16-team playoff, in my mind, those 1, 2, 4 games are the ones that matter. The other ones, They're glorified scrimmages. And for the media to get all crazy about the Pop-Tarts and the Cheez-Its and whatever else, it doesn't matter. It's not a bonding experience. Listen, how many teams opted out? You had Notre Dame, you had Baylor, you had Iowa State. Those guys didn't want to play it. Come on, Baylor
Yeah,
doesn't have any fear of winning.
they
Listen,
hate competition. They hate the game. They hate
do not.
tradition.
No, they do not. They just
They're ready.
here's what
They're
they
ready to
know.
pack it up and go home. They value their NIL checks more than they value the game on the field that got them there in the first place. Like,
Here's what they know. You know what they know?
Preach.
Here's what they know. As an athletic department, I'm going to spend more money to go to Florida to go see some bowl in front of 5,000 people. That no one that it's just not going to be a great experience. So let's move on from the bowl season.
the fact that it's not going to be a great experience is quite possibly the worst take that I think you've ever had on this show. Not going to be a great experience. Go to a bowl in Florida and it's not going to be a great experience. I've been to 2 bowls in Florida in the past three years. Yeah. The past 3 years.
Did you go this year?
And we lost both.
Low
I had a great experience both times. Lost both games.
Listen, I get it. I'm sorry. And listen, I know I have to cover them. I had to cover the bowl in Detroit. I had to cover the bowl in Jacksonville. Neither one were enjoyable to watch. Neither one were enjoyable to cover.
But if it's your team, this is what I'm saying. You don't enjoy it because you don't care about those teams because your quote unquote your team that is hanging on the wall behind you is in the college football playoff. But if you are a lifelong born and bred or an alum of a school who went 7-5 and you get to go to
I covered the Orange
Jacksonville,
Bowl Florida State when Georgia beat them 63-7 or whatever, and I decided to go to a wedding and then I covered the game afterward. It doesn't matter unless it's the college football playoff. That is the deal. Listen, and I know
We're going to agree to disagree.
Yeah, absolutely. This is ridiculous.
Because I was in that boat probably when the opt-out started, and I even said it on Emily's show before the Pinstripe Bowl. My team got worked, but I enjoyed that whole week of the lead up and seeing kids that you don't necessarily see playing in the regular season show out. And even you have your seniors who didn't play well who at the end, but it's nice to see them play one last time. Like I like the novelty of it now. And it is, you do. If you have if you're an alum or a longtime fan, yeah, of course, who wants to go to the Bronx, right? But they got to see the kids in the cancer center. They got to go to the 9/11 memorial. They had a whole week in New York City of having a blast and doing things that are worthwhile and bonding as a team.
You're a Jersey,
bit of a glimpse of the future. So
you're a Jersey guy, but for those fans who are actually South Carolinians, it's an excuse to go to New York for the week too. If you're a Clemson fan, and that's not a bad deal.
And there were a lot of them.
I get it. Like who wants to go to the Bronx, but people who lived in South Carolina their whole life and grew up liking Clemson, I feel like that's not a bad trip to go to Yankee Stadium. I feel like it's a big deal.
And again, I understand that what I'm saying is not popular, and that I'm
at least you know.
And I'm going to be honest.
At least you know.
No,
you're in the minority. I think
I get it. And listen, and it has nothing to do with the team that I cheer for or the team that I cover. I have noticed a difference, and I noticed this when we went to the 14 playoff. Remember when we used to have the semifinal games on New Year's Eve? It lessened the experience of New Year's Day. I don't know what it was, but for me personally, it lessened that experience, and it made me think, well, the bowl season's over because now we're thinking about crowning a championship. And I get, and I'm okay being wrong. I'm okay being in the minority. I'm not trying to be a jerk. I'm just trying to give the other side here.
You've never woken up outside on the street by Raymond James Stadium for the Outback Bowl then, and it shows, Craig.
It does.
That is true because that's a good one every time.
South Carolina, Iowa. I woke up. I got dropped off in the clothes I had from the night before in an Uber and decided to just sleep on the ground real quick just to kind of catch up, and then I went to catch up.
See, and maybe here's the problem. I
was in a box that day too. Woo!
I have like the Motor City Bowl, right? I've got the Pizza Bowl. I remember my wife and I go to the Motor City Bowl.
You don't have Florida.
No, it's
different.
It is different. It is different, but like, here's the other part: the damn Raymond James is the real ReliaQuest Bowl. Give me the bloomin' onion and give me the
That's true.
shrimp and give
Now
me
we can
salami.
agree. Now we can
Yeah,
agree.
100%.
Okay, let's move on to
By
the
the way,
games that
Popeye,
Craig's.
I will take a extra large in the blue quarter zip, and I
No,
will
you
definitely change my tune.
You don't deserve it
You
for those
completely shit
takes.
on them.
Yeah,
That's not
you
happening.
absolutely cannot. You cannot.
I can be
You
changed.
cannot have it. You cannot have it. Okay.
Fair enough.
Now to the games that Craig thinks matter more than everything else, or I should say the games that are the only ones that matter. I think that all of these games matter, but you get what I'm saying. Let's start on Friday night. We have Ohio State and Miami, or not Friday night. See, this is what when you say
It matters so
when
much.
you say-
you don't even know what day the
when
games
you
are
say you don't know what day it is, this is exactly what we're talking about.
on.
Let's
Wednesday
start with Wednesday night. Ohio State and Miami in the Cotton Bowl. What? This is the biggest spread, obviously.
What is the
Well,
spread? 9.5?
9.5. Which I think here's something that Mike Morgan said here on the Chief Sports Network on JC and Morgan, or sometime last week. He saw Miami earlier in the year. He called the game between Miami and Florida State, and he called several. He also called 2 Texas games this year, and has been adamant, Craig, to your liking, that nobody would have wanted to see Texas in this playoff, and that their talent is immense, and they really got it together at the end of the year. But he said a couple of times this year as well that Miami's talent in person really stands out, and that at that midway point, he called Miami the best team in the country. The comment about this game specifically that I believe is true is that this specific game may have more NFL draft picks than any of the other games that we see over the New Year's Eve, New Year's Day matchups, because there's that much just talent between Miami and Ohio State. I think that the question that we all are here to watch and to attempt to answer and then to watch unfold before us is, can Mario Cristobal get that talent to perform at the top level? If he does, Miami can very well win this football game. That's just a very, very big if, because we haven't seen that very much this year. And we didn't even see it in round 1 when they played against Texas A&M. So the question is deservedly asked, can Miami put it all together in the Cotton Bowl against Ohio State? Ohio State didn't look great in their last game against Indiana. Was that an Indiana thing? Or is Ohio State just a little bit streaky themselves? We saw them early in the year. You can kind of bookend Ohio State with 2 of the best teams that they played, right? Texas, Indiana. What did they do against those teams?
Doing that for Indiana?
They didn't score a lot of points in either one of those games. But Miami defense, Craig, you didn't want to give me credit for it last week, and I think that we know we both picked the Aggies. But what I said was, and Cole Kublik said it when we had him on, the Miami defense is fast. There's a lot of speed, and Ohio State is going to try to utilize their athleticism and speed and get into space. Is Miami fast enough to slow them down? Can this get into one of those low-scoring games? Because if it is a low-scoring game, I think that that kind of favors Miami. What do you guys think in terms of this matchup? Again, it's a 9.5-point spread. It's the biggest spread that we've got out of these 4 games. So we're really arguing here, not necessarily who's going to win, because if we're hard pressed to pick one, and I'm going to make us do that in a minute, this is the easiest one to pick the favorite. But what's the path for Miami?
Carson Beck doesn't have to Taco Bell himself, and I mean that's the key. Covered Carson Beck for 2 years at Georgia. Looking at Carson's Beck career, he has problems on the road and against top teams. And to me, like, okay, we can say last time he played, it was windy in Texas, in College Station. It affected Marcel Reed. It affected Carson Beck. Beck, I think, is going to be problematic. I think the game
for who? Miami or Ohio State?
for Miami, because I think the secret sauce and the killer for the Buckeyes has been Matt Patricia being the defensive coordinator.
Yeah, no doubt.
I don't think that they've given up more than 17 points all year. They've made many of offense look pedestrian. So to me, like as much as Cristobal may screw them over, I think Beck is going to be the bigger liability. And here's the other part about like the greatness of the Miami defense. I can't get out SMU and Louisville in my head. They have looked very pedestrian at times. Yes, they have looked very good. They look fast. And I'm sure they'll have plenty of guys who look great in Indianapolis at the combine and will get drafted very high. But as a collective, I don't think it's going to work for them.
Mr. ACC, what say you?
5 names that you should remember: Markel Bell, Matthew McCoy, James Brockermeyer, Inez Cooper, Francis Mauagoa. That's the key to the entire game. That's the Miami offensive line. If they can protect, they are going to score. You heard it here first, but I don't know if they're going to score more than 21, 20, 21. Is that enough for Akeem Mesidor and Reuben Bain Jr.? And I think it's so cliche, but it's going to be up front on both sides. It's going to be that defensive front for Miami if they can get to what's his name, the quarterback for Julian Sayin. Julian Sayin. Yeah, I don't know. I don't do research. If they can put pressure on him, and somebody's got to lock down that receiver that they have too on the outside. Well, that's pretty doggone good. Actually, they're all good, aren't they? Yeah, I think it's going to come down to the lines. I really do. I think if Miami can get pressure on Sayin, and if they can protect Beck, they have a chance. I would say my friend Eric McLean from the ACC Network says bang that 9.5 all day, plus 9.5. Says it's disrespectful. And if we had to bet, he didn't say Miami would win, but he thinks they're going to keep it close. So
the last thing that I would say before I force us to pick this one is Craig has had some good things to say about Shannon Dawson over the course of the season. And there was a point in time where we thought he was going to be all three of us thought he would be the next guy in Gainesville. It took him a while to figure out that he just needed to give the ball to Mark Fletcher in College Station. And I just wonder if they can't figure things out a little more quickly at the Cotton Bowl. And if the Canes can do that, again, if this is a slugfest, can they figure out the formula sooner than the third or fourth quarter? And if they can you put exactly, that's my point. If they can figure it out in the second quarter, I think that we may have a little more of a competitive atmosphere. Anybody brave enough to pick Miami in this one before we move on to the next game?
Am I getting the points?
Well, yeah, I mean, you want to
even with the points. I'm not taking.
Craig is against picking against the spread, so we're just going to pick it straight up.
No, I will pick against the spread. Ohio State will win by at least 10.
That's the thing. If Ohio State goes up by 17 or 21 early, like this isn't Oklahoma, Alabama. It's over.
I see this one
defense.
getting. To me, like this one's going to get crooked, and the questions about Cristobal are going to continue, and they're going to be really loud.
All right, let's go to the Orange Bowl now.
I hate the fact that the Orange Bowl has a
all I said was let's go to the Orange Bowl, and Craig already has hate for us.
I am going to the Orange Bowl.
That's nice. Tickets are cheap, by the way, like $50.
$40, $40.
To the Orange Bowl, where we have Oregon and Texas Tech.
And that's
why isn't this one in Autzen? I'm just going to ask the question right now before we get started. Do these games like Miami, Ohio State, and Columbus, Texas Tech, Oregon, and Lubbock, what are we doing? Like, I get the bowls matter, as you two both have said. Yeah, shut up.
This is all money, boss. This one's all money.
I hate that answer, but it's 100% true in this case.
This one's all money. You are completely correct. You're actually making the same argument that Casey and I made about the other bowl games, is that college football matters, that fan bases matter, that tradition matters. And that's why in this case, they should be on college campuses. They should, of course. And that's why it should be on. This is so stupid. This is why we talk about the bye week. I don't think that the bye week is an advantage. You just skipped your home game. You let your team get championships. You let your team get cold. Stop it. And now we're in a bowl game. But let's talk about Oregon and Texas Tech here for just a moment, because this one is not getting talked about. This is the one that's if I had to predict right now views, this will have the least views of all 4 games.
Dumb. This should have the most years because I think this is going to be one of the most interesting games.
Very well could be one of the most interesting games. I completely agree. And I will kick off this segment with a SCO Ducks because I think Oregon pulls this off. I think that they're hot. I think this could be a buzzsaw type of thing. We asked the question multiple times. I've asked it. Craig's asked it. Is Oregon this year's 2024 Ohio State? And what we mean by that is, did they catch fire at the end of the season, come in that middle range, not as far as seeding goes, not getting a top 4 seed, and able to just buzzsaw their way through to a national championship? We saw what they did to James Madison. Not really shocking. Now they get an opportunity against Texas Tech. Can Oregon continue this and mow down the Red Raiders? I'm going to say that they can. Boys, what do we think?
God, so before we got on, I read a Joey McGuire piece by Max Olson in ESPN talking about
2.5 point favorites, by the way.
I know. And I have been on the Oregon train totally. Yes, they are this year's Ohio State. They're gonna go. I'm reading this Max Olson piece about Joey McGuire and how he calls Cody Campbell, the man who is responsible for the $25 million roster in Lubbock, and says, "Listen, I'm your guy. You got to stop calling Jeff Traylor. You got to stop calling Sonny Dykes. I'm your guy. I'm going to be the one who's going to take it." And it's that emotional piece is killing me right now. You saw the whole team. They went and they got their Stetson hats. So there you go. There's your bowl time. There's your community bonding. Everybody went to American Hat Company, got their black cowboy hats ready for Coral Gables. This game should be in the Cotton Bowl if it's not in Lubbock, but Ohio State decided not to do that. I want to take Texas Tech, Andrew McCleary. Here's what scares me about
Texas. With your head, not with your heart, Craig.
I know. I'm worried about Texas Tech's offense because just like my hook 'em horns, Texas Tech can't score in the red zone. And it scares the hell out of me because Oregon has those big play receivers. They've got a couple of running backs that are very good. I'm not sure who I'm picking yet. Casey, please just take over for me.
Do you even Cameron Dickey, bro?
Are we talking Dickies again?
Yeah, my Dickey's out this weekend. I love it.
2 weeks in a row.
Jacob Rodriguez and the Mustang gang. I mean, I am all on board with Texas Tech, but because I'm deathly afraid of Emily Taylor, I say SCO Ducks.
God. You know what?
Did he just cop out? I think he just picked both teams.
Just to spite you two, Emily, I love you.
Oh, my gosh.
What brings me joy is the fact that these two teams are playing together. What would bring me more joy is that this game would be in Lubbock, Texas. Recommend. Give me Texas Tech.
Although my friend Who's from the Message Board Geniuses podcast said that Oregon, he's on record of saying Oregon's a year away. But with no Dante Moore next year?
Yeah, but let's be honest. Emily told him to say that.
I mean,
Dante Moore was absolutely – I don't care that it was James Madison. Dante Moore was absolutely surgical in that game.
That scares me so much.
They're getting healthy. Oregon's getting healthy, too.
There are throws that he's making in that game that it doesn't matter who's playing defense. It doesn't matter if he's playing an NFL defense. The way that he's placing the ball into the fingertips of his receivers in tight windows, deep down the field, dropping it into a bucket, you can't defend it.
Do you know where Dante Moore went to high school?
Mel Kiper said he's the number 1 draft pick this year.
Absolutely.
Do you know where Dante Moore went to high school?
Right down the street, Craig.
Martin Luther King Jr. High School in Detroit, Michigan. Fun fact for you kiddies, 2010, Craig used to live in Garden Court Apartments. For you old folks, the Martin TV show from the 90s, that was the Garden Court Apartments. Could see Martin Luther King from my apartment. So that was my local community public school. God, I'm still not picking Oregon, but I want to pick Oregon.
All right, so we're all 3 on Ohio State and 2 out of 3 on Oregon. But this is not
though?
this is not the Big Ten Sunday night. This is SEC Sunday Night Live on a Tuesday, getting you ready for round 2 of the college football playoff. It's 9:55 on the Chief Sports Network. I'll be right back with some SEC flavor as we continue to pick games here in the college football playoff. We'll see you in just a moment.
When playing sports, you want a coach that will fight for you. At Hewitt Diamaduros Law Firm, we've got your back. Whether it's personal injury, insurance disputes, negligence, or wrongful death, our team delivers exceptional legal services that makes meaningful difference in the lives of the individuals and families we work for. Visit hdlawsc.com. hdlawsc.com. Hewitt Diamaduros, we're on your team.
Oh man, the building is on fire.
Emergencies and accidents happen. When you're in the middle of a fire or water event, all you want is for things to return to normal as soon as possible. Resto Pros of the Midlands is with you, guiding you through the process and working with you to get your home or office back in working order. They'll answer your questions, discuss procedures, and can act as your advocate when it comes to processing your insurance claim. Resto Pros Midlands SC.com. Open 24/7 when you need them. Quality that is guaranteed.
At TriFit Physical Therapy and Performance, we believe true health and peak performance start with personalized care. Whether you're an athlete recovering from injury or just chasing your next personal best, we're here to guide your journey. With expert coaching, hands-on therapy, and transparent cash-based pricing, you get the care you need without the insurance red tape. One client drove 100 miles just to see us and said it was worth every mile. Contact us at trifitperformance.com or 803-353-5619. TriFit Physical Therapy and Performance, where recovery meets results.
Yo, what's up?
Baby, let's go.
This is SEC Sunday night on the Chief Sports Network.
Welcome back to SEC Sunday Night Live on the Chief Sports Network. I'm Rob Williams, joined as always by my co-host Craig McMichael and our good friend Casey Cregan of the Message Board Genius podcast as we break down round 2 of the college football playoff. Thank you for joining us this evening. Reminder that we are proudly presented by Hewitt Diamaduros Law, hdlawsc.com. All right, boys, let's head to Cali. It's time for the Rose Bowl and our beloved, as Craig called them, Alabama Crimson Tide, taking on the number 1 seed Indiana Hoosiers. This one's very interesting to me because we have the most prominent program historically, in this century against the upstart Cinderella of all Cinderellas, who has stolen the hearts of America, won the Heisman Trophy. Google me, I just win. Number 1 seed. Big Ten champions, the clash.
Is this Indiana Sunday night or what?
The clash of the Big Ten and the SEC in the Rose Bowl, the granddaddy of them all, the sunset. It's gonna be a great setting. Does history win out? Is this program versus program, or is this team versus team? Because we have opportunities, obviously, for teams to make a run in a 1-year scenario, but programs survive the test of time. So is this Alabama versus Indiana overall, or is this limited to what's on the field in 2025? Sometimes the confidence of been there, done that wins out, and that looms large, I think, in this matchup. What do we think as two teams sporting the same colors once again for Alabama face off in the Rose Bowl?
What was the score last year when Indiana went to Notre Dame? 24-7?
Yeah, it wasn't great.
Wasn't
Not
great.
great, Bob.
And that's
This one, they are 7-point favorites as it currently stands.
yeah, 7-point favorites. I get it. 6.5, 7 points, where depending where you get your numbers. I admit I have an Indiana bias. It's hard for me to admit that Indiana is a 6.5 or a 7-point favorite against Alabama. And yes, I know they have Fernando Mendoza as the Heisman quarterback. But here's what I also know. He has been average against very good defenses. You look at what he's done against Iowa, you look at what he's done against Ohio State, and you look at what he's done against Penn State. I believe the touchdown to interception is almost 1-to-1. And to me, if you're Alabama, I'm going to give you some advice. You have better athletes. Indiana has James Madison transfers. You have 5 stars, and you have better players. Just out-athlete them. You don't need to run the ball. You don't need to prove that you're the bigger, badder team. Just get the ball to your athletes and beat Indiana. Doesn't matter if you beat them by 3. It doesn't matter if you beat them by 10. Just go and take care of business.
So we have a little bit of recency bias too with Alabama. They looked good after going down 17-0 to Oklahoma. But before that, they did not look good for the past 2 games. Another cliche that I'm going to use is, what Alabama team are we going to see? But to Craig's point, that defense has been solid for the most part. Obviously 17 points right off the clip against Oklahoma. But after that, really kind of shut it down, that whole mediocre offense. But if Mendoza and crew don't get it going, I mean, heck, E.J. Williams, Clemson transfer, is like their wide receiver 3 or something on this team. So like Craig said too, James Madison transfers, Clemson cast-offs, and they're winning. Smoke and mirrors maybe. I don't get it. I'm going Indiana, but I don't know why.
All right, so we're split. Craig, are you picking Alabama? Is that where we're standing on that?
Yes, I am going outright. Alabama's going to win the game. I remember 2 years ago I was covering this game against Michigan. I had the story already written, and then J.J. McCarthy completes a 4th and whatever pass to totally change the game to do that. I'm sorry. And again, Signetti, you can tell me I'm wrong. Alabama has the better athletes. If I'm Kalen DeBoer, get the ball to your better athletes and beat Indiana like you should.
So here's my question, I guess. And Casey mentioned cliches, and I think we're going to come in with another one here. To me, it's which quarterback are we going to trust more? Is it Fernando Mendoza or is it Ty Simpson? Ironically, Mendoza won the Heisman Trophy, but I lean towards trusting Ty Simpson based on the defenses that he's seen. Craig, I love that when you made your point about Mendoza that you included Penn State, because that was a tight matchup. And despite Penn State's record, if we look at sheer talent, although James Franklin wasn't able to get them to put it together this year, there was still tons of talent on the field for that Penn State team. And I hate the fact that we discredit wins and losses a little bit on this Penn State team because of what their overall record was at the end of the year. But
very SEC argument from you, Rob.
They're a team that could put it together any week, though, is my point. And that they could be, as they were predicted at the beginning of the year, a top 5 team in the country at any given time. And so you're still going up against that type of athlete, that type of team. And so that resembles a little bit of what you're going to get here when you're Ohio State, your Oregons, your Penn States, as you said, right? So I'm interested to see how he looks, Mendoza that is, against this Alabama defense. On the other hand, Ty Simpson has been really solid through most of the year, and then to Casey's point, hit a little bit of a skid towards the end of the season and turned the ball over a little bit. We saw those turnovers being the key contributing factor to this Alabama team not being able to get it done. We know they don't have a running game. Everybody in the country knows they don't have a running game. Jam Miller's going to be able to do something here or there. They got enough of a push and enough of a running game against Oklahoma to free Ty Simpson up a little bit. But to Craig's point, most of the time it's just Ty Simpson throwing it up to his athletes. And my God, if they can catch the ball, then they're going to run away with it. And the game against Oklahoma would not have been as close as it was if they were able to catch the football. And so I'm interested to see here, can they use the athleticism? Can Ryan Williams, to give Who's another shout out, discard his flippers and find his hands and squeeze the football to be able to actually pull it down and make a play? This has got to be more than Jeremy Bernard. It's got to be more than Isaiah Horton. If you have weapons all over the field in terms of athletes at receiver, and you have a guy who can be accurate with the football like Ty Simpson has shown he can be over the course of the season, then I believe that they can win those matchups. And so for that reason, I'm also picking Alabama. So we're going to go 2 for Bama, 1 for Indiana here. And that leads us to the final matchup of the weekend.
Who's playing?
SEC on SEC in Nolens, the Sugar Bowl. If I'm not mistaken, this is the most expensive resale ticket that I was able to find at just over $200 a pop, as opposed to the Orange Bowl ticket. This is an expensive grab, and we have quite a matchup here between those Dogs and the Rebels. Yes, Casey.
There's a reason for that, though. That's drivable for those fan bases, and here's why I say that. I did Phoenix in 2015, Clemson, Alabama. It was in Phoenix. Scalpers were given national championship tickets for under $100 because everyone that's there is already there, you know. But Tampa, they were going for $2,200 because both Clemson and Alabama could drive to Tampa. Anyway, go ahead. Sorry. But that's why I'm going to Oregon, Texas Tech.
So wait, are you saying that's why they should have these games on campus? Is because they're drivable? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
I'm just asking.
Or regionally, right? Isn't that what they do at the NCAA basketball tournament?
Regional would be at least a step. Regional would be a step in the right direction. Let's just say that, right?
All right. Let's jump off the guardrails just for a second. You've got
Oregon.
regional. Where are your regional sites?
Oregon goes to the Rose Bowl.
Yep.
Right?
Of course.
No matter who they're playing. You got Miami. Well, no, they played last week. You got
to have the
Alabama,
high seed.
High seed. Indiana goes to
Indy.
Yeah, but is that a bowl?
Is it Ford Field or is it Indiana? But here's the thing.
But Indiana goes to New Orleans.
I almost said the other word the other F word when I said the Bulls. Forget the Bulls. Is it Ford Field? Is it Lucas Oil?
It's Lucas Oil.
Is it Mercedes-Benz? Is it AT&T?
But they're set.
Is it what's the one in Vegas? What's the one? Reliant?
Yeah, he's right though. Casey's right. They're set. You have to go with the Bowls.
No,
they're set.
You don't have to go
in
with the Bowls.
Basketball too. They're set.
Yeah,
like you'll have Kentucky or Duke in Newark, in Newark, New Jersey, or they'll have somebody in Kentucky going to Atlanta.
I feel like Duke is always in Greensboro, right? Like
that's to start off with, but as it goes on, they're going to be in Greensboro for that opening weekend, or Columbia, or Greenville, or somewhere like that. But as it moves on, you get Sweet 16, Elite 8, whatever. You're going to end up in New York.
Put them on campus.
But again, you have packed stadiums now too. You don't have $40 tickets in Miami because Oregon and Texas Tech, whoever's bought up those tickets, they're done. They're not coming. You're now not getting flights today to fly tomorrow to get to Miami.
But you're not selling out Miami in the regular season. Why would you sell out Miami for the Orange Bowl?
Well, Miami does a nice job if the teams can drive. I mean, every time that Clemson's been there, Clemson, Oklahoma in the first round a few years ago was packed. Clemson, West Virginia, the game that no Clemson fan wants to talk about, but probably turned their whole program around, was packed.
Wait a minute. Hang on. Tavon Austin just scored again. It just came through.
Right in the end zone that I was sitting in. Yeah, that was a long trip home that night.
Okay, let's talk about this game. Seriously, Georgia and Ole Miss. So you have a Georgia team,
part two.
Yes, pulls it out against Ole Miss regular season, right? I was watching this game live. You think Ole Miss is going to get it done. They had a little bit of a lead. Georgia comes back and
double digit lead.
Gets it done. So what do we learn from that? Number one, I think that we learned that Ole Miss can play with them. And I think that if anything, this gives Trinidad Chambliss some confidence to say we were there and we had it. He's not going to come. They're not going to come into this game scared of Georgia, even though they haven't pulled it off. Hold on. Let me finish. Let me finish. I'm going to let you have your piece.
All right.
They're going to come in confident. I don't think that Ole Miss is going to come into this game scared. They have a huge chip on their shoulder with the Lane Kiffin saga, and I think that these guys in the powder blue no more are out to prove something. Now, on the other hand, you have Georgia, who has been there, done that. You have Kirby Smart, who is, in this point of the year, all business. No games are being played. There's one mission and one focus. You got blue collar, knock you in the teeth, Gunnar Stockton, who nobody's talked about all year. You want to talk about a chip on your shoulder. There it is at quarterback in the red and black, right? He's going to go out and will his team, and he doesn't care if you say his name or if you got anything to say about him or whatever. If there's a W in the win column when this game is over, as long as they have more points than the opponent, then Gunnar Stockton is happy to get in that old Ford and drive home. Probably with a bird dog in the passenger seat and his old broken-in boots and Riley Green on the radio, right? Like, that's how this thing is played up.
Luke Bryan, probably. Sorry.
I don't even know who Riley Green is, but yes.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, and the fact that you don't know who Riley Green is, and Craig just said Luke Bryan makes my skin crawl, and I promise you it's Riley Green over Luke Bryan. Somebody get Gunnar Stockton on the phone. My goodness.
If I had Gunnar Stockton on the phone, people would be clicking the last word like crazy. Like,
okay. Here's my thing though.
Yep.
You talk about Alabama against Indiana, and you say that Alabama needs to go and out-athlete them.
Yep.
Georgia has been the most consistent out of probably any team in this college football playoff. And for that reason, both of you have already announced that you're picking them to at least appear in the national championship game, if not win it. Mm-hmm. So I guess now's my moment to rub up against you and tell you that I'm picking Ole Miss because not because of athletes, not because of Lane Kiffin sagas, not because of Kirby Smart's racing school in Athens, but I'm picking Ole Miss because I think that Georgia goes and sits at home. I think that because of their consistency, it gives them an opportunity to cool off, to have this long break, to think they don't have anything to worry about. And you have a fiery, red-hot, beat up on Tulane, built their confidence, going to come in guns blazing, Pete Golden with the dip in his mouth and the pencil and the whatever it is in hand. Folgers in hand. Here comes Pete Golding. I'm picking Ole Miss. I think they're ready to square up.
Stop it. Just stop. Okay. Shout out to my boy John Tweet Sports, John Smith. Kirby Smart has been all in Georgia's backside, making sure that they are focused. Gunnar Stockton came out this week and talked about, I don't like to lose, and I'm going to make sure that that doesn't happen again. Oscar Delp said, hey, we may have been distracted last year. Kirby Smart is making sure we're not distracted this year. You also look at what Georgia has done on the field. Sure, they let up 5 touchdowns the first 5 drives for Ole Miss. Take a look at how many points they have let up since that point. I think they've let up at most 10 points to Texas. So I love Ole Miss. I love everything about the program. I love Oxford. I love Miss Evie. I love David Walker. Georgia is on a mission. John, please give me the praise. Georgia is on a mission. They are locked in. They are ready to attack the day. I'm going to say those 6 coaches who are splitting time, coaching Ole Miss in the afternoon, and then huddling at Charlie Weiss Jr.'s house in the evening, talking about how they're going to poach Ole Miss's roster for their recruiting meetings, probably distracted. Lane Kiffin being on the sideline is going to be a distraction. That moron Governor Landry on the sideline is going to be a distraction. Georgia is going to take care of business. This is going to be a game where Georgia is going to slowly death march Ole Miss quarter by quarter and take care of business and get ready to face the Ohio State Buckeyes in Phoenix, Arizona at the Fiesta Bowl.
It's a good regional matchup. See, I think none of that matters. This isn't the WWE where these kids are going to be distracted by their old coach on the sideline. I mean, what's he going to do? He's going to do some pop-off thing.
You're going to be spending dollars. You'd be like Jordan, what's the guy?
Jefferson.
Belfort.
Jordan Belfort. Fun coupons, everybody. Who wants to come to LSU?
And I think John Tweets Sports is exactly right when he says Georgia don't stand a chance, boys. Kirby's got them, boys. No one believes in them nationally. They're not 6.5-point favorites in this game at all. They're not going to have a ton of people in the crowd. They're not going to be excited to play in this game. And they're also not going to lose to Ole Miss this week. Georgia is going to beat them by 100. I'm on record again, even though I am a known flip-flopper on the Message Board Geniuses podcast. So if they lose, I'm going to deny this ever was said. But I think Georgia wins by a lot.
All right.
Because of the distractions.
Here we go. We've got 4 games starting tomorrow night. By the way, there are significant bowl games happening tomorrow, despite Craig's chagrin, I should say.
By the way, check out Last Word Sports for a preview of the Cheez-It Bowl between Michigan and Texas.
There you go. There you have it. Your boy Arch will be eating the Cheez-Its. Maybe they'll have another wedding this year. We'll see what happens there in Orlando at Camping World Stadium between the Longhorns and the Wolverines, to be coached next year by Kyle Whittingham.
I have a question.
Yes.
They have Cheez-It dusted turkey legs. Who wants to eat that?
They have a lot of stuff. I talked to a Cheez-It Bowl official who was visiting Williams Brice in the Cockaboose this year. He stopped in. He actually walked in to ask our opinions on the experience last year, and as they were out scouting teams this year. And he was very official. He had on a blazer that was embroidered with the Cheez-It logo.
Or who are you guys playing that week?
We were playing Bama.
Oh, okay, that's probably why.
But I think it was a dual thing because we were there. South Carolina was there last year, and so he wanted to ask fans what the experience was and find out the things that were favorites and the things that weren't liked, and so on and so forth. Yeah. It is the second most entertaining bowl behind the Pop-Tarts Bowl. They do a great job, and the 2 games have just really surpassed Mayo, which is astonishing. Although the lack of cowbells in the Mayo Bowl this year may have something to do with that.
Shout out to our guy Ryan, who has gone after the Duke's Mayo Bowl. I mean, we're on Miracle Whip on this point. I am all
That's
Miracle
disgusting,
Whip.
Craig.
It's gross.
That is disgusting.
It's gross, but like it's my support of Hail State. Shout out Coach Leach, because Duke's Mayo will not have the cowbell.
All right. It's about time for us to wrap it up here, boys. Anybody have any parting thoughts about these 4 games or anything else before we get out of here?
I had a last word in our agenda.
Indeed, you did. Why don't you take it away with a shout out to the last word here as we get ready for our last words of 2025. Happy New Year, everybody.
All 3 of us are dads, and all 3 of us have kids that are under 10 years old and that have probably watched K-pop Demon Hunters. So my question to you, gentlemen, is which is your favorite Huntrix song? And I know Rob is probably a Sanja boy, but is it This Is What It Feels Like, This Is How It's Done, Golden? I don't know what the 4th one is.
You know what?
What's your favorite Huntrix song?
Casey, do you have thoughts here before I go off on him?
I do have a thought. I have no idea what you're talking about. My kid's too busy playing sports.
Shut up! Come on, you know he's watching K-pop Demon Hunters. Come on.
Not with his deadbeat dad. He's not.
Oh, boo! This is what it sounds like. It's so good, by the way. Go ahead, Rob. Rip into me.
I like your idol by the Sage Boys.
Okay, look. Can we take a look at the movie as a whole?
We can.
Yeah.
Because I have a specific argument for strategy as one of the best songs in the movie. It just really gets stuck in my head and I can't get it out of there.
This is what it sounds like.
But if we have to go straight for Hundrix, then I'm going with Golden, because my oldest literally sounds like she's ripping her vocal cords from her throat because she's singing it so loudly. And
how proud are you when that happens, though?
Extremely. And I've listened to it probably 50,000 times in the past 6 days, and I don't understand how she still has a voice. But you know what? God bless those 4-year-old vocal cords is all I got to say, because
You know what I say?
They can let it
Let
rip.
it go. Let it go.
Same vibes.
Hey, so like, you don't like This Is What It Sounds Like?
I like
It's fine.
Free is my favorite one.
Which one?
Free.
I don't know what that is.
I don't know. Google's telling me there's a song named called Free.
Is that a Saja voice? I don't know what Free is.
Saja Boy, your idol is my favorite Saja Boy song.
Rob is probably an original Saja Boy.
Okay, it's time to get out of here. This is SEC Sunday Night Live on the Chief Sports Network. We'll be back on Sunday night with John Smith. John Tweet Sports will be with us to recap everything that happened here. Shout out to Casey and the Message Board Genius podcast. Shout out to MBG and our friends at Freezing Cold Takes. He's Craig McMichael. I'm Rob Williams. This is SEC Sunday Night Live on the Chief Sports Network. We'll see you Sunday night.